Now I would like to request GAM head Shri Ramesh Tarale and GAM co-head Shri Shrikant Gurde to come forward and open the event.
Hello. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Myself, Shrikant Gurde, on behalf of GAM co-head Ramesh Tarale ji. Announce hereby our Global Alumni Meet 2022, GAM 2022 Open.
Thank you, sir. So let us proceed with this grand event by knowing more about LITA and its activities. For the first session, I would like to cordially invite Shri Madhav Labhe, Shri Ajay Deshpande and Shri Utkarsh Khopkar.
Before we begin with this session, I would like to briefly introduce the speakers. I request Shri Abhay Nafade to welcome the speakers by presenting them with saplings. Shri Madhav Labhe is a graduate of 1979 from LIT Nagpur. He has over 40 years of experience in oil and gas sector, from executive engineer to director. He is also the senior vice president with Adani Group. Currently, he is the chairman of LITA and director of 2 companies. Shri Ajay Deshpande sir is graduate of BSc Tech Food Technology in 1979. He was executive director with Transchem Limited Mumbai and chief executive at Lavino Kapoor Contents, Tarapur. His last assignment was with Rich Gravis, an American multinational, as head India manufacturing operations. Shri Utkarsh Khopkar is 1993 graduate from LIT Nagpur. He is currently the secretary of LITA, working in the field of water and wastewater treatment.
Sir, you are requested to present saplings to all the dignitaries. Thank you, sir. The first session about LITA and its activities will be followed by a question-answer session. So, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to present your queries. I request everyone to give a big round of applause for the beginning of the first session. Over to you, sir. Over to Labhe sir, Deshpande sir, and Utkarsh Khopkar.
गुड मॉर्निंग. जोर से आवाज आना चाहिए. गुड मॉर्निंग. That's the spirit. How is the Josh? Okay. Welcome all of you to Global Alumni Meet 2022. This is our first session on LITA activities. कल, आज और कल. We are 3 representatives here, and Dr. Mankar, Director of LIT, has seen LITA from the beginning till today. So we truly represent Kal, Aaj aur Kal. So to start with, I will request Ajay Deshpande ji to explain the Kal, past of LITA, how LITA was formed, what activities LITA has done. So, Deshpande ji, give him a big applause.
Good morning, everybody. Rather, good afternoon, everybody now. dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think we need a lot of introduction what Lita has done in the past. I'll be as brief as possible because all of you must have taken a round across the institute and must have seen what are the things Lita has done so far. During 2016, as you know, Lita has been reinvented with a great initiative from Dr. Mankar. He invited a couple of alumni here, and that's how Lita has taken birth, I would say, in 2016. Since then, we have been having this global alumni meet, 16, 17, 18, except for those 2 years of 19 and 20, when we had a pandemic, we could not do this, though we wanted to do it. And then we had it last year also, 2021, and now this global alumni meet is basically creating a lot of fellowship among the people. Lot of new people are joining, and we still have lot many to join, because we have still, I would say, around 3,000 members in at our website. We have to still catch up with another 6,000 people, because they are still to be explored. That is the first assignment which Lita would be taking up, and what the future plan, of course, will be explained by Mr. Madhav Labhe, Chairman Lita, present Chairman Lita. What we have done, we since 2016, apart from these GAMS, we have taken up a lot of projects for LIT students and Lita also. One of it, which you must have seen, the incubation center and pilot plant, which is coming up, which is a perennial kind of project which will keep going for years to come. And we will be creating a lot of entrepreneurs out of it. This would be beneficial to not only students, but alumni also who are entrepreneurs. And we will be having a problem-solving mechanism, or I would say new entrepreneur development, or solving the problems of our nearby industries. That's what we have already got many projects for incubation center. There are a lot of queries. They want to rent out our few floors. So those are the plans which again will be coming up later on. We have done canteen renovation. Most of you must have visited canteen. That has been renovated in 2018. This auditorium also, the sound system as well as the air conditioning has been with the donations from LIT Alumni Association. So a lot of projects have been done, which is getting updated on website, as well as we have been explaining that to all of you. So I think we are doing a wonderful job, but we still have a lot of wonderful jobs to be done. And our ultimate aim, everybody knows that we have to have this institute raise these standards to a level of ICT and that kind of thing. That is our aim. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I would be pleased to answer any question. Yeah, I mean, the projects like, I have not listed it, but there are a lot of projects, rainwater harvesting, tube well, and many other projects have been taken up. Green LIT, which is ongoing project. There are a lot of projects are in hand, and a lot of projects are in mind also. Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning all. Well, friends, good morning once again. अरे लाइट बंद करा. So this is Utkarsh Khopkar, Secretary Lita. So I would just like to show you some of the projects which we have done since last year. So first, I would like to welcome few so-called people which have just arrived in the hall. I welcome Sri Subramaniam Sarma, whole-time L&T director. Probably this is one of the pride. My senior, Sri Ashokji Rathi, he is here. These are the people who guides us. Ashokji Rathi was instrumental in our Dr. P.S. Mene Memorial Pilot Plant. So I will just go through it through our, whatever activity we have done since last year. So it was like Global Alumni Meet 2021. The theme was one dream, one team. One dream, one team. So all of us know what is our dream. The dream is to bring back the old glory of LIT. Again, back to... So for that very purpose, we are organizing such get-togethers and we are putting up the pressure or whatever the activities we are doing to follow up with the university. So I will just go last year, next slide. Next slide. Slide again. काय झालं? Sorry, sir. झालं का? So it was last year's Global Alumni Meet 2021. So in every alumni meet, we have our slogan. That slogan was one dream, one team. So this is what we did today. It was a group photograph. Next slide, please. Our Ashokji Rathi. This was last year's team. Registration counter. So this was group photo. This was GAM opening. This was co-GAM head Sachin Palsokar. Award ceremony. These were the glimpses of the evening session. It was an entertainment session followed by the jewels of the award. Just a moment. During this jewel ceremony, our jewel, one of the jewel, Mr. Ajay Ranka, promised to give a special paint, and he supplied the paint, and he is the CEO and MD of Zydex Chemicals, Vadodara. And the Vice Chancellor of University then promised the entire manpower for the painting of the building of entire LIT campus was painted. The credit goes to Sri Ajay Rankaji. This was one of the projects done by the alumni. Around 10 lakhs rupees paint was donated by Sri Rankaji. Next slide, please. We had arranged green hydrogen project. It was a seminar, a web seminar. The speaker was Dr. Parth Mitra, President, Strategy and Initiative, Reliance Industries Limited. And in fact, I would like to tell you, the day after this presentation, there was a big announcement of around $5.6 billion investment in green hydrogen project. by the Reliance. So it was again coordinated by one of our alumni from the Reliance. Next slide, please. This was like online session. It was Parthamitra. Then on entertainment front, we had on 26th January, Ek Sham Desh Ke Naam. It was again an online singing Desh Ke Prati. Patriotic songs were there, performed by the wives of the alumni also. So Chairman Labeji wants to involve the family also, in this our activity, Lita. So this was his first efforts to get along the families with our Lita. So it was on the 26th of January, Ek Sham Desh Ke Naam. On the Lita incubation front, we have started a series called Lita Startup Katta. It was inaugurated by Sri Lok Sarang Hardas, our alumni of 1982 batch. This was his inaugural, and we are starting the series of this Katta. This project will be looked up after by Sarika Mahashabde, 91 batch. She is coordinating for such project, Startup Katta. And during this program, he has promised around 1.5 crore donation for our incubation center. Then we had a Holy Milan, which was planned at Gondwana Club. Few members joined. It was. Yes, I would like to tell you that Vidarbha Industries Association approaches Lita, LIT, to help the nearby industry, to help technically to grow the nearby industries in Vidarbha region. So we have a MOU with VIA and Lita. In that MOU, we are supposed to give them our technical expertise, whether in the field of food, chemical, pharma, everything, they are open for that. In that series, we have started this with our senior Dinesh Garg and Deepak Khedkar. In the food sector, it was started for the Dal Mill Association, and it went very well. There were series of, you can say, discussions with Dal Mill Association people. Garg Sahab has guided them for various dal-based products, and he conducted these seminars in Nagpur. Not only in Nagpur, he conducted at Amravati, he conducted at Akola, and all the places, halls were fully packed, full pack hall, and we are expecting few projects to come up in Vidarbha. Next slide. So it is Dinesh Garg. We had 1972 batch get together. So we promote as an association, we organize them, we give whatever infrastructure they want for their meeting, whatever support they want for their get-togethers. This is Bhumi Fusion Incubation and Hostel. So now you can see this was for the hostel. This is the gym project. This is donated by Manoj Palreja. This was what before that gym. Now you can see air-conditioned gym has been given by the donation of Mr. Manoj Palreja. His 1981 batch. He has donated around 11 lakh rupees. Out of that, we have done this air-conditioned gym. So this is one of the projects the Lita has done. And around 108 people, students are taking. Gym is full pack. It is, this is rainwater harvesting. This was one of the requirement of a NAC committee to have the rainwater harvesting system. So it was 1983 batch. Mankar sir ke batch ne isko sponsor kiya hai, and part of it was funded by Lita. So this is rainwater harvesting project. It was done just behind chemical engineering building. Yes, this is a very important project. Lita Jam, Green Enviro Movement. To tell you, Shrikant Gurde is in charge for this project. And it is so happened that once Madhoji was telling me, हम नितिन जी अमरावती में कहीं जाने वाले हैं उनके नाती के कोई शादी में या कुछ इसमें, तो मैं उनको बुला लेता हूं, उत्कर्ष भाभी जी आएंगे, थोड़ा सा नाश्ता वास्ता करा लेते, एक अच्छे प्लांटेशन अपन काम कर लेंगे. एंड द एंटायर प्रोग्राम टर्न इनटू इन नेशनल इवेंट. सो व्हाट ही डिड, मतलब हमको भी नहीं समझ में आया, इतने सारे न्यूज मीडिया ये वो सब लोग वहां से पूरा रविनगर से पूरे पोस्टर बैनर्स लग गए. सो इट वाज द प्रोग्राम फॉर द NHAI. From this LIT, it was launched to plant 1 lakh trees across the India on the same day. So that day we planted around 500 trees. On the same dais, it was open, it was addressed, it was online throughout the country. From this dais, it was made a national project, and now we have around 700 trees, fully 14-15 feet high, ऐसे बड़े-बड़े झाड़ लगे हुए हैं. और उसके लिए हमने प्लांटेशन भी किया है, वाटरिंग का अरेंजमेंट भी किया है. एंड क्रेडिट गोज टू अवर को गैम हेड श्रीकांत गुर्दे. ही वर्क्स डे एंड नाइट. ही इज अ वेरी वेरी केयरफुल फॉर. उनको एक झाड़ को कुछ हो भी गया तो ही हैज टैग एवरी ट्री, सो नेक्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट प्लीज. सो नितिन जी वॉज हियर ऑन द डे. हम कोई भी आए, अपने मिनिस्टर हमारे जो देवता है लक्ष्मी नारायण जी, उनके हम माल्यार्पण करवा लेते हैं, उसी बाद अंदर आते हैं. आज भी देवेंद्र जी का ऐसे ही होगा. मानकर साहब. Our alumni Amitabh Saxena, we have launched, our chairman has launched youth forum to have the ultimately youth forum will be LITA members only. So for the youth, Amitabh Saxena has free of cost deliver 6 Sigma training. Generally it costs very high, around 10,000 rupees. He has given this training to around 100 students. So Amitabh Saxena is a very successful entrepreneur from Bangalore. And he runs his this training throughout the world, mostly in Europe and UAE. And our students were fortunate enough to get their training from the hands of Amitabh Saxena. Next slide, please. This is recently within 1970 batch. Dr. Shyam Bang की बैच का ये गेट टुगेदर हुआ था और ये बहुत अच्छा तरीके से हुआ, जिसमें our seniors along with their families were there. This was pilot plant inauguration. Dr. Umalkar is there. He has donated pilot plant equipment around 80 lakhs rupees. And that the equipments are also installed in the place. List of few donors. I just wanted to know if you want. This was the committee to get involve more members into our LITA activity. And finally, this is the invitations to Sri Devendra ji, and today evening he will be here. Thank you. First, I would like to appeal for those, LITians who after 60 gets retired, because this event, when we organize, we want the volunteers for our institute or alma mater, and fortunately we could, it is my experience that we have got few good volunteers, like we have got Shrikant Gurde, the other last to last game. And recently we got Sharad Kidile and many more to come who are energetic. They should come up. This is our house, this is our family, and I request all to join the LITA activity. Thank you all.
I would like to request Labhe sir to continue with this session. Shri Madhav Labhe sir, please. It was wonderful to have Lita's first session with you and to know more about Kal Aaj. And Kal of Lita would be, I think, told by Shri Labhe sir after some time. Thank you for the insights. I indeed feel proud to be a Lita member. Now we have some more interactive talks on the incubation center and its project, which will be followed by question and answer session again. To share this information with this August gathering, we have Shri Vinod Kalkotwar, Shri Rakesh Gupta, and Shri Ajay Deshpande to make this session more interactive with their valuable inputs and to answer your queries.
Before
Sir.
we begin with this session, I would like to briefly introduce the speakers. I request Shrikant Gudde to welcome the speakers by presenting them with the saplings. Shri Vinod Kalkotwar is 1982 graduate of Chemical Engineering from LIT Nagpur. His current position is the president of Colossal Consultants. He is actively involved in startup activities. He has worked in banking and financial services and in chemical industries too.
Thank you, sir.
Shri Rakesh Gupta is 1982 graduate of LIT Nagpur. His current position is the auditor of Bureau of Energy Efficiency and accredited in CCI approved safety audit. He is currently the owner of RK Industries and Packaging.
Hi, good afternoon all. This is Vinod Kalkotwar, 1982 batch. Backbenchers, hello. We will have some brief overview of what is incubation center, what it will do, what is the process that we will follow, which is about 10 slides. And then after that, we'll have two videos which will talk about how the students or the alumni can interact with the incubation center and what's the process of engaging with the incubation center. So next slide, please. Next, yeah. Sir. So if someone looks at, I'm going a little technical here, a startup ecosystem that is there. I have been in Bangalore for 30 years, almost. I've been part of the startup ecosystems out there. So it comprises of very critical elements, education being part. In this case, it will be LIT. There is a requirement for talent to incubate companies or start the incubation center, and also mentorship. Mentorship is a critical part. We are inviting all the subject matter experts to be part of the incubation center. Next slide, please. What we are going to do in the incubation center, we are going to support startups done by or promoted by students, alumni, and the faculty, which will build entrepreneurship culture across. We have found that Central India has primarily employment mindset, and students primarily look for employment post graduation. So we were making an attempt to change that thinking to become entrepreneurs across. And the benefits for incubatees primarily will be a co-working space. I am sure you would have seen the incubation center, which was earlier, which is like 5,000 square feet, fully built up, state-of-the-art office infrastructure will be available. So will be the labs at LIT as well as the pilot plant will be available for the incubators. And the biggest advantage for incubator will be the mentoring that will be available from the subject matter experts or the mentors out here. Next. Also, there are parallel advantages to the faculty out here because we will try to convert LIT into hotbed of entrepreneurship with the help of incubation center. We'll engage the alumni and also the technology experts all across. We believe that incubation center will help creating the employability quotient of the students when they go for jobs out there or a career if they attempt entrepreneurship. Next. One of the things that I want to bring about, a very important thing in this is that it has a domino effect or a network effect among the three constituents that are there. One is the alumni, which is all here, the faculty and the incubators, which will work in tandem to make this successful businesses out of it. So we are saying it will be a symbiotic existence of all the elements that are there. LITA at one part, which is an NGO, the education institution, which is LIT, and also the startpreneurs, which are going to incubate here, as well as the alumni, panel of alumni, which will help them succeed. We have had excellent support from Dr. Mankar when we started this idea about 4 or 5 years back. We have signed a long-term arrangement between LITA. There is another component of a not-for-profit organization we have created, which is important for running the incubation center, which is also important for getting the grants from the government of India or the state government. So each have defined roles and responsibilities in running the incubation center. We have started this detailed planning for the incubation center sometime post-COVID, and we have had amazing contribution, about 90 alumni and about 10 companies contributing. The individuals have contributed under ATG, and also the companies have contributed CER and CSR, and we have raised about 62 lakhs. And if you see the progress that is there in the building there, we have spent almost like 49 lakhs onto it, and then rest will be spent for completing it. So here I would like to I'll appreciate the effort put in by implementation team headed by very dynamic Ajay ji, past chairman of LITA, and also all the members of LITA, including my batchmate Rakesh Kumar Gupta. We are expecting the project will get completed by Q4 of FY23 or calendar 23. We'll see how things work out. But I think we're very hopeful that we'll start incubating some of those companies right then. These are some of the photographs that was under construction, which has taken almost 6-7 months. And also as a part of the pilot plant, we have been able to modify or upgrade the entire pilot plant, which is headed by Aven Afde. He has been in charge of implementing and also monitoring the pilot plant. Also, one of the critical components of running an incubation center is forming a governing body. And I think we have been able to form the governing body, which will basically look after the selection of companies, selection of incubators, projects which are coming up and things like that, and which is headed none other than our GL of LIT, Mr. Vinayakji Marathe. So as Utkarsh just now told that we started this series about Startup Katta, which was inaugurated by my batchmate Loksarang Hardas, and afterwards we created a sub-event under that, which is called Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. We find that most of the students are not unaware about how to prepare business plans or how to present it across to investors and things like that. So we started a series, and we have already had 2 modules for it. And at the end of this 8-module session, which will get completed shortly, we'll have people who might be able to kind of participate in business plan competition which will be held, and then we'll start incubation of those companies. I think I skip this. So, yeah, go ahead. Thank you so much. Now we have two videos which will talk about how the incubators will interact, or what are the benefits that they will get, which was actually created by Sarika Mahashabde out of Pune, and her daughter in New York and her son in Eindhoven. I would like you to carefully look at those videos and just understand the whole process. Very, very nice videos Sarika has prepared. Sorry, there is always something called Microsoft which comes in the way of good things. So go back to the. Thanks. I hope these are informative. These are also running on the screen at our exhibition stall at Incubation Center. I request all of you to visit, and there are certain brochures that we have provided. It gives more details about the Incubation Center. I think I'll stop here, and we are open to take questions on this idea. I think if there are no questions, either explained it very simply or it's very complex, people have not understood. One of that is the situation, I guess. So, yeah, that's fine. I think I'm available. All of us are available here. If any questions, we can discuss over lunch or next 2 days. We are all available here, and we're here to support your initiatives in the Incubation Center. Thank you so much.
I would like to request Shri Shrikant Gudde to welcome Shri Rakesh Gupta by presenting him with sapling.
Thank you, sir. A big thank you to for all the efforts taken for Incubation Center. The Incubation Center will certainly provide good guidance and great head start to the budding entrepreneurs here at LIT. Moving further, now we have our next session based on pilot plant and projects, chaired by Shri Abhay Nafde and Dr. Vijay Karadbhajne. Manufacturing is more than just putting parts together. It involves coming up with ideas, testing principles, and perfecting the engineering as well as the final assembly. A pilot plant is one such risk mitigating manufacturing unit before scaling up. LIT is proud to have such installations within its premises. Over to you, sir. Nafde.
Before we begin with this session, we would like to briefly introduce the speakers. I request Shri Madhav Labbe to welcome the speakers by presenting them with saplings. Shri Abhay Nafde is 1979 chemical engineering graduate from LIT Nagpur. He was on teaching staff in Department of Chemical Engineering at LIT Nagpur from 1980 to 1985. Till date, he is director of Nagpur Pollution Control Board Private Limited, consultant and contractor for wastewater treatment plant and acid handling and recover plants especially for steel industries. Shri Vijay Karadbhajne is 1999 Oil Technology graduate from LIT Nagpur. Currently, he is head of Department of Oil Technology at LIT Nagpur. He had worked as project assistant in Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Rural Industrialization, Wardha.
Hello. Good morning. Dignitaries and my friends. My name is Abhay Nafde. I am 1979 graduate BTech and 1981 MTech. I have been given a task to handle the projects and pilot plants of Lakshminarayan Institute of Technology and LITA as a joint venture and carry out certain experiments and pilot plant studies for all those chemical reactions and troubleshooting of industries. Now, if we look at anything, we must consider few things like vision and inspiration. The vision for us LITians, there is no bigger vision than the vision of D. Lakshminarayan, because of which all our LIT peoples are at very good positions across the globe. And as far as the matured inspiration is concerned, matured inspiration given by Dr. P.S. Mene and Dr. Giratkar, that we are able to carry out and do lot of research works and our best to the world. Now, now, what is a pilot plant? See, the aim of pilot plant is to survey, the literature survey, and to carry out certain experiments in laboratory in milligram levels and establish the technology. At the same time, to study the chemical reactions and industrial troubleshootings, we must carry out the technico-commercial feasibility of these problems and the products on some kilogram basis. For that, the pilot plant we study the techno-commercial feasibility of the chemical reactions and troubleshooting of industry. Now, this doesn't stop here. It is also important from the point of view of scale up of the technology on the industrial level in tons. So we have gradually started from milligrams and we have reached to the ton production. Now at the same time, when we have the pilot plants here, so that will be made open, made clear to the budding chemical engineers of our institute, so that they have the right information right at the budding stage itself, and that will go along with them into the industry. Now, please. I am thankful to...
Excuse me. Hello. Sorry for interruption. Hello. Sorry for this interruption. थोड़ा छोटा मुंह बड़ी बात हो रही है. Please excuse me for that. Some serious talk is going on here. Friends, some serious talk is going on here. Somebody has put in lot of efforts. So kindly listen to that person. Whatever talk we want to have, some discussion, some doubts, perhaps we can leave it for lunchtime break. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Srikanth. Now, I am really thankful to Mr. Dattaji Umalkar and Mr. Ajay Biniwale for full-heartedly supporting the pilot plant by donating whatever machinery they have as a pilot plant, and we have tried to take lot of machinery from their donations, and we have we are going to use as multi-purpose equipments. The first is the multi-purpose reactor. Here we can have CSTR, and then we have batch mixing units. We can easily produce some batch mixings like sanitizers and other things in that. Then we have electric thermic fluid heater and then chiller unit. The multi-purpose, to support the multi-purpose reactors will be heated or cooled down with the help of chiller unit and electric thermic fluid heater. And if there is some exothermic reactions are to be carried out in that particular reactor, then we have the cooling towers. And if there are some gaseous emissions and we have to study the absorption, he has provided us an absorption column. And then multiple glass distillation reflux condensation reaction type of units. In one particular beautiful glass equipments, they have been supplied to us by Mr. Ajay Binewale, and these are the major equipments. Now we have certain projects in our hands. The first project we have is the development of polymer which can be used as a corrosive shield for the acidic and alkaline atmosphere. This is one unit. There are a lot of applications of hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and these things have to be carried out under atmospheric temperature or even elevated temperature. So we are trying to establish the use of certain polymers for a long term and low cost materials for lining the reactors and the tanks in which the hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid as well as nitric acid units can be used. Then we have to optimize and increase the gaseous component from the anaerobic digestion of the food material or waste organic material. This project we are working on. Then extending this to energy production from the anaerobic digestion of direct agricultural produce. This is one project we have got with the international participation. Then sorry, there is some spelling mistake. This electric vehicle, the cell of that, this particular project is also with us. And pyrolysis, plastic pyrolysis, this project will be done with one prominent institute of Nagpur. Now we are under a strict contract of confidentiality with all those who have all those project providers, so we cannot disclose lot of information about the projects or the places. So but we are going to get much more of them, and we respect the confidentiality, and this confidentiality is for everybody, but we are sure that we shall in a way we tell and we educate our budding chemical engineers of the college. Thank you very much. I request Dr. Vijay Karat Bhande to tell us about the glass distillation unit.
Namaskar, myself Dr. Vijay Yogeshwar Karadbazne, a 99 batch pass out, oil technologist, currently heading the Department of Oil Technology under the leadership of Dr. Raju Mankar. सबसे पहले तो मैं एक बात बता दूं आपको, हिंदी में शुरुआत करता हूं क्योंकि स्टूडेंट लोग को हम लोग हिंदी में ही पढ़ाते हैं. ये मंच पे अभी जो चीज प्रेजेंट करने के लिए मैं जो खड़ा हुआ हूं उसका श्रेय जाता है मेरे गुरु डॉक्टर गोगटे सर को. एक्चुअली उन्होंने ही वो नींव रखी थी कि हमारे जो रिसर्च हम लोग करते हैं अगर वो सिर्फ कागजों में रहते हैं और वो फील्ड तक या इंडस्ट्री तक जाते नहीं है तो उसका कोई मतलब नहीं है. तो उन्हीं की मतलब प्रेरणा लेके हम लोगों ने शुरुआत की थी और आज काफी प्रोजेक्ट्स हम लोग लीड कर रहे हैं, जिसका श्रेय लीटा को भी जाता है क्योंकि लीटा ने काफी सपोर्ट किया है. कुछ ऐसी एक्टिविटीज होती है कि जो हम यूनिवर्सिटी के दायरे में रह के उसको सक्सेसफुली नहीं कर पाते हैं, कुछ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव अड़ंगे आते हैं, लेकिन लीटा ने हमको काफी सपोर्ट करके हमने काफी एक्टिविटीज को आगे लेके आए हैं. उसका सोसाइटल अगर मैं काम करने की बात करूं मेरी, हम सोसाइटी को भी काफी प्रोजेक्ट्स देते हैं. जो हमारा वर्क एरिया है गढ़चिरौली, जिसकी शुरुआत डॉक्टर बोतमांगे सर बैठे हैं यहाँ पे, प्रोफेसर एंड HOD फूड टेक्नोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट, उन्होंने प्रोत्साहन दिया था और उनके साथ मेरा काम स्टार्ट हुआ था और आज हम काफी आगे बढ़े हुए हैं. अब जैसे पायलट प्लांट की बात नाफड़े सर ने आपको बताई, पायलट प्लांट की शुरुआत जो हुई थी हमारे यहाँ पे साबुन बनाने की टेक्नोलॉजी थी, उसके बाद ऑयल का प्रोसेसिंग करने की पूरी टेक्नोलॉजी हमारे पास थी, लेकिन कुछ सालों के बाद वो टेक्नोलॉजी एब्सोल्यूट होने की वजह से और उसकी संख्या बहुत बड़ी होने की वजह से वो बंद हो गए प्रोसेस. लेकिन वो पायलट प्लांट हम लोगों ने ऑयल टेक्नोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट के अंडर रहने की वजह से उसको काफी देर तक संजो के रखा, लेकिन धीरे धीरे एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव की उदासीनता की वजह से वो कुछ हो नहीं पाए काम. पिछले साल नवंबर तक अगर आप उस पायलट प्लांट को देखते थे जो आज है, वो एक एक्चुअली डंप हाउस था LIT का, जिसमें सारा कूड़ा कचरा रद्दी सब जमा किया जाता था. लेकिन डॉक्टर राजू मानकर सर के नेतृत्व में और उनके आइडिया की वजह से और लीटा के प्रोत्साहन की वजह से वो सारी चीजें हटाई गई और उमाड़कर सर ने जो हमको डोनेशन दिया है पायलट प्लांट का, और एक चीज हम लोगों ने अभी जो बिनी वाले सर ने हमको डोनेट की है, वो ग्लास डिस्टिलेशन यूनिट, उसकी वजह से आज उसकी रौनक आ गई है। नाफड़े सर ने काफी उसका काम किया है, वहां पे उनका श्रेय बहुत है उस काम में। उसके बाद हमारे एक सर है रमेश तराड़े जी, जिन्होंने हमको कॉम्पैक्ट सोप मेकिंग का यूनिट दिया हुआ है, जो हमारे ऑयल टेक्नोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट में रखा हुआ है। वो जल्द ही हम लोग पायलट प्लांट में शिफ्ट करेंगे, जो पायलट प्लांट की एक और रौनक बढ़ जाएगी पायलट प्लांट की प्रोसेसेस में। और उसके अलावा मैंने रिक्वेस्ट किया था लाभे सर को कि वहां एक छोटी सी लैब हो करके, उसकी भी उन्होंने अनुमति दी है। वहां एक हम लैब रखेंगे जो कि हमारे पायलटिंग, जो लेबोरेटरी के काम जो हम पायलटिंग पे ले जा सकते हैं, वो हम लोग वहां पे एग्जीक्यूट करेंगे। हम कई क्षेत्र में कई टेक्नोलॉजीज का काम कर रहे हैं और काफी उम्दा काम हो रहा है। उसकी एक झलक हम कुछ दिनों में आपको दिखाएंगे उसकी, और हमारी लेटा के वेबसाइट पे भी आएगी। एक एल्यूमिनी थे पिछले साल जो हमें अप्रोच हुए थे, बस बातों बातों में ये बात निकली थी कि हम LIT में क्या क्या कर सकते हैं। मैंने सिर्फ उनको बोल दिया था, साहब आप बोले तो हम इसरो का रॉकेट भी बना दे, सिर्फ आप पैसा और फंडिंग प्रोवाइड कर दीजिए, इतनी कैपेबिलिटी हम में है। और वो कैपेबिलिटी अगर देखना हो तो नेशनल लेवल के प्रोजेक्ट हम लोग कर चुके हैं, और हमारा LIT का काफी नाम, काफी टीचर्स का, काफी स्टूडेंट्स का, काफी रिसर्चर्स का नाम LIT की वजह से देश भर में और दुनिया भर में है। तो हमारे में कोई कमतरता नहीं है। इसके लिए बस इतना ही ऐड करना चाहूंगा अभी। और वो डिस्टिलेशन का यूनिट जो हम लोगों ने लगाया है, दैट इज मल्टीपर्पज, जो अपने वहां पे पायलट प्लांट में रखा हुआ है, बिल्कुल शुरुआत में ही रखा हुआ है, जिसमें डिस्टिलेशन के 2 फ्रैक्शन अगर किसी को निकालने हैं और इंडस्ट्रियली कुछ फ्रैक्शन निकाल के देखना हो तो वो काम वहां पे कर सकते हैं हम लोग। चलिए, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, Sri Nafde and Dr. Karat Bhajne, for nicely elaborating on pilot plant projects. I'm sure these pilot plants would help students visualize and understand the process plants in a better manner. Let us start with our next session, fireside chat. Today we have with us Honorable Shri Subramaniam Sarma, Director and Senior Executive Vice President at L&T. We welcome you, sir. The next session is chaired by Shri Vinayak Marathe, and the resource person is Shri Subramaniam Sarma, whom I would like to invite to the dais.
Before we begin this session, I would like to briefly introduce the speakers. I request Shri Ajay Deshpande to welcome the speakers by presenting them with saplings. Shri Subramaniam Sarma is whole-time Director and Senior Executive Vice President Energy at L&T. He is responsible for the hydrocarbon, power and green manufacturing and development. 1979 graduate in Chemical Engineering from LIT Nagpur, Mr. Sarma has completed his Masters from IIT Bombay. A seasoned professional, he has over 40 years of experience, with 30 years being in the Middle East. During his career span, Mr. Sarma has handled the complete oil and gas value chain, including executive management, business development, project management and process engineering. Mr. Sarma joined the board of L&T as a non-executive director on August 19, 2015. Immediately prior to joining L&T, Mr. Sarma served as managing director of Petrofag Onshore Engineering and Construction, with complete responsibility for all the company's onshore projects worldwide. He is the recipient of Distinguished Alumnus Award 2021 from IIT Bombay for his contribution as a business leader in the corporate world. He is also the recipient of Chemtech CEW Business Leader of Year 2017.
We welcome you, sir. The stage is all yours.
Shri Vinayak Marathe sir
Thank you.
is 1979 chemical engineering graduate from LIT Nagpur. He has over 43 years of experience in hydrocarbon industry, followed by 34 years in Reliance Industries Limited in petrochemicals and refining in leadership roles. Currently he is heading India and Asia business of PTAI USA. He is also a freelance consultant. His recent engagements are in L&T, HMEL, Aramco, Encon, John C. Matthey and Quest Global.
So good afternoon, and I'm very thankful to Subramaniam Sarma, although his name is South Indian, he was born and brought up in Nagpur and he speaks very good Marathi. So whenever he speaks Marathi in his organization, people think that. And and I am proud to be the batchmate of Mr. Sarma. And he has taken all the pain, and I really thank you for all the way coming from Mumbai for this Global Alumni Meet, and also agreed for this fireside chat. So I think this is, he's going to make a small presentation, and then we'll have some kind of a conversation at a fireside chat. And this is more of a, I got my old folks here, but the presentation will have a much more attraction for the younger students. So they are sitting at the back. I tell them to look at it carefully. So what is he's going to present it, but what is big success? जो बोलते हैं ना, मंजिल उन्हीं को मिलती है, मंजिल उन्हीं को मिलती है जिनके सपनों में जान होती है, दम पंखों में नहीं होता, उड़ान बुलंद हौसलों से होती है. और बुलंद हौसलों का जीता जागता उदाहरण आपके सामने खड़ा है मिस्टर सुब्रमण्यम शर्मा.
Thank you, Marathi. Good afternoon, everyone. Such a pleasure to be here. I think, I don't know whether I am worthy of this generous praise and introduction, but anyway, I will take it. So, very delightful to be here after a long period of time. Actually, I am coming to Nagpur after almost 11 years. And Marathi, when he requested, I readily agreed. I like this concept of fireside chat. I do this very regularly in my organization with my whole staff. It's a great opportunity to informally have a discussion, about life experiences. And normally we choose a theme or a subject and talk about that. Today I thought I'll do it slightly differently because of the student audience, and I will maybe use first 15 minutes supported by a small presentation to share my life experiences. After I left LIT campus, how my journey has been. It's not so much about talking about my journey. I think more importantly, I think every journey, every experience all of us have leads to some learning and experiences. And from that, I created 5 mantras of success. 5 mantras of success, Panjamridam as they say it. And very recently I presented this to a large number of graduate engineers. In L&T we take about 1,200, 1,300 engineers, graduate engineers every year. Because of COVID disruption this year we took 3,000, and I presented to this and the response was very positive. So I thought I will use that presentation, slightly modified. So feel free, I think you have... so I called it as 5 mantras of success. Light band kar dena. And I think the tagline of that is the benefit of hindsight. So as we all know, the benefit of hindsight is, we commonly use it, it's basically after the event is over, you analyze it, you understand it, you study it, and there is a learning, and that is where you get the benefit of hindsight. And I think life experiences, whether it's personal or professional, always gives you a lot of learnings. And it is so rich that we cannot allow that to be wasted. And particularly for student population, what we can offer is that wisdom of experience. So that's why I call it as a benefit of hindsight. Next slide. I think this picture, what you see, I think is from a very famous movie. Most of you would have seen it. And I brought this image just to sort of emphasize a little bit more on the meaning of benefit of hindsight. I mean, like in a pilot, in a normal aircraft these days, they are very well guided by various instruments. I mean, the dashboard helps them to navigate the plane. In fact, to the extent that even the plane can go on autopilot. So there is very little you need to think because it is guided by the instrument. But when it comes to a fighter plane, there is no time for somebody to look at the dashboard. And all the maneuvering they do, the steep climbs and steep climb downs and steep climb ups and and angular movements, and along with that also launching bombs and things like that in a war-like situation. All of that comes from experiences, what they call it is gut feeling. He has done it so many times that the pilot would be able to exactly determine where he is, at what altitude it is, at what angle he has to go down, what angle he has to come up. All that comes from the benefit of hindsight. So it's a very powerful thing. And all of us, I think all of us experienced people have gathered so much of experience and knowledge, and that wisdom is very, very useful in young people's life. So taking cue from that, I'm going to talk a little bit about important milestones in my life's journey. I left the campus in 1979. And then after that, I went to IIT Bombay for my post-graduation. Going from Nagpur into the outside world, I thought, let me get some kind of a grounding. And therefore, I went to IIT Mumbai, I did my postgrad there, and I passed out in 1981. And that was almost 41 years ago, or 43 years ago since I left this campus. And then, like every budding engineer, campus interviews are always very exciting. Everyone look forward to those eagerly. And in 1981, I was selected that time by a very reputed engineering company, Tata Consulting Engineers. Those days, TCS used to be in computer science and TCE was on traditional engineering side, industrial engineering. And it was a very coveted job. And I was fortunate to have got selected there as a process engineer. I'm a chemical engineer, so got selected as a process engineer. Four out of 35 people got selected, so I was one of those 4, very happy, and joined the organization. And trainees, as many of you know, that they don't get to work on the job, direct job straight away. They have to go through some training program. They are always a second fiddle or a third fiddle to somebody in the organization. But I don't know, my luck was good because at that time, maybe the organization had a lot of work, so they were ready to throw everybody on the job, including trainees. So I was asked to do a lot of important work. And I was preparing, I was doing process design, I was doing data sheets for exchanges, columns, pumps, and compressors and all those things. And it was a fantastic work environment, nice air-conditioned office, good canteen, everything was good. But my biggest problem was I was doing a lot of things. Next slide. I was doing a lot of things, but I had not seen any of those. So this I picked up the dialogue from, I think you can guess which movie it is. So, doing a lot of things but not understanding what I am doing. And that made me very, very uncomfortable. And I said, I cannot. If I want to be a good engineer and if I want to be successful in life, then I need to get some very practical, physical experience. And I left that cozy job, very nice job, and I went and joined a very large petrochemical plant, which was being at that point in time by Bombay Dyeing, very close to what Reliance built the PTA plant in Patal Ganga, which is about maybe 2 hours. Those days it used to be 2.5, 3 hours drive from Bombay. So my life completely changed. From what used to be a 9 to 5 cozy job, it became maybe 17 hours job, 5 to 8 o'clock in the night. And then I had the exposure of working in construction. This plant was under construction, pre-commissioning, commissioning. And I also had the opportunity to run the plant for almost 3 years at a very young age. I'm talking about 86, 82 to 86. So that was fantastic. And what I have learned in those 3-4 years, even today, the confidence I have talking about process industry comes from that experience. So I think first mantra of success for everyone is that you have to push yourself out of the comfort zone. Next slide. This is my first mantra. If you stay in your comfort zone, then there is very limited opportunity for you to grow. I think in life you have to push yourself out of the comfort zone, try things which you are not comfortable. In fact, I always say the power of discomfort is far greater than power of comfort. So that's my first mantra of success for the young engineers here in the campus. After this experience, I came back to the consultancy. I joined another great organization. Those days it used to be Davy Power Gas, Norwegian. Then it became Eckert. Even today it exists as Eckert. It's a Norwegian company, and grew up. And then after that, I got an opportunity to go abroad, and I worked for a Dutch company known as Comprimo. It's part of the Shell Oil Company, owned by Shell Company. That was my second big milestone. And when you go abroad those days, unlike today, people coming from India were not seen in that great light. I mean, there was a lot of apprehensions about our education system and what we can do and what we cannot offer. So there was very, very overwhelming, and people had doubts about what we can do and what we cannot do. And in that difficult situation and working with different nationalities, I believed in myself, I believed in my capabilities, I put my head down and kept doing what I'm good at, and success came along. And I could really reach very senior position in a multinational organization. That is a period between 1989 to 1997. So my second mantra of success is that don't get overwhelmed. In life, you will have many situations where you will face what appears to be an unsurmountable problem, very overwhelming situations, maybe for different reasons, but never lose faith in your abilities, never believe in yourself, and be good at what you are doing, and success will come. So I think that's the second mantra of success. After that, I left that organization and I joined, as it was read out in my introduction, the company called Petrov. It's a UK company. I joined as an engineering manager and grew up in that organization through ranks. Again, 68 nationalities were working. So it wasn't easy, tough competition. And I got, at a very young age, again, an opportunity to run a very, very, very complex, very large, multi-billion-dollar project in a very remote place in Kazakhstan, in CIS country. I wasn't very sure whether I will be able to handle such a large project. So when I asked my boss, are you sure you want me to do it? Then he said, yes, definitely you can do. And I took that opportunity, and that job went very well. And that led to another success. Changes. Yeah, this was the project. This was a multi-billion. It was owned by Exxon, Shell, Total, I mean all the major oil companies, $20 billion project. And I had a big role in that, running that project. And then after that, one led to the success, led to the other. Then I was doing quite a few large projects in Syria, in the Middle East, and so on and so forth. And rose to a very senior position in that organization, as a managing director eventually. So I think the message here is that that was one opportunity which was given to me, and I was not very sure whether I'll be able to deliver that task, that project. But that came along and I grabbed that opportunity, and that led to many, many successes, and eventually had a big role in the contribution in what I am today. So my next mantra of success is that never say no to an opportunity. So it might be just, you might be just one opportunity away from what can be a big success. So इसे में हमने बोल दे हाँ बोल दे. Never say no. So this was a third mantra. And at that point in time, I was extremely in a cozy position. I had accomplished a lot. I had nothing to prove, and I was doing very well in an international environment. And that was a time when I had maybe the final boon when our chairman of L&T, Mr. M. Naik, called me and he said that why don't you come and run the L&T's hydrocarbon business, and we want this to grow. And that's what happened in 2015 when I returned back to India and took over the reins of L&D's hydrocarbon business, and subsequently I run now the entire energy portfolio. And I joined the board. And I think after I took over, I'm very proud to say, along with my team of more than 7,000 people, 8,000 people who work, we were able to establish and grow the business and very strongly establish our footprint in not only in India, of course, but also across the Middle East and Africa. And for the subsequent 5 years, we have been rated either as number 1, number 2, or number 3. We are always in the top 5, and we still hold that position even this year by the oil and gas Middle East market. So my mantra number 4 is that success may come your way, and you could be quite proud of it, and you can be quite happy, but never let that success come into your head. Maintain always humility like a banyan tree, and sometimes you have to start work not only for you but also for others. I think what the Alumni Association is doing and all the alumni members, what you have presented today, is very much resonates with what I'm saying about my mantra 4. So keep it up, and I will do my bit as well. The last mantra is about passion. And I always say that people always talk about work-life balance and how can you work so hard and etc., etc. And my answer always has been that if you are passionate about what you do, then everything else becomes fun and love. So it's very important, and again, in whatever you do, whatever your areas of interest is, whether it's in academic, whether it is in research, whether it is in entrepreneur, or whether it's a corporate business leader, you have to be extremely passionate. And I would like to show a small video to sort of again emphasize on what passion means. And I think there is a subtitle here it's a French video, but with the translation, I think it's self-explanatory. Please play that video. So that's, I think it's a great lesson here. Again, a 98-year-old man can climb, and that's only reason he's able to do is because he's very passionate about. So that's the mantra number 5, be passionate in whatever you do. And I think the next slide sums it up. Basically, the 5 mantras is push yourself out of comfort zone, don't get overwhelmed, and believe in yourself, never let an opportunity go, and have the humility and be passionate in what you do. I think that's been my journey. I think some way or the other, I followed these mantras, knowingly or unknowingly, but now I'm able to say that very easily. And I hope there is a you find the youngsters will find this useful and practice this in future. I think it's been 43 years, like I said, since I left the campus. And it's not the number of years, but it's the life within those years. And I think life is, as I said, it's not about the years of life, but it's the life in those years, which is very important. So every moment, every hour, I think becomes meaningful, purposeful, and see how you can contribute in making your life more beautiful. So my last message here is that the time you have on your hand is very precious. Don't let it go waste. Thank you very much.
So that was a wonderful, mantras of the life, And initially I said it is for the young people, but when I saw the last slide in the video, there is something for the old people also here who are sitting. And I request Alumni Association to keep some adventurous game here next time for all the old folks who are coming. To prove them that they have got much energy is left. So, yes. I think what I could I can say few lines from what all I saw from Mr. Sharma's career, what he presented today. So it's a तो ठान लो जो मन में, हाँ, ठान लो जो मन में तो क्या कुछ नहीं हो सकता. इस दुनिया में दूजा को ही आप जैसा नहीं हो सकता. बड़ी शिद्दत से आपने कोशिश की है सपने सच करने की और हमने देखा कि मेहनत का फल यूं जाया नहीं हो सकता. So thank you very much for sharing your life experience. And now I think when we talked about a fireside chat, so I will ask because this is especially for the young chemical engineers who are all sitting here, and also the old engineers who again from this slide say they also have a lot of career ahead of them. So now, in last, maybe especially after the 2000, and let me ask all the alumni, old alumni who are sitting here, how many children are chemical engineers? Mera to nahi hai. Only 2 or 3 hands are going up. So although we are preaching the many good things for the chemical engineers here, but probably we haven't done that at home. So none of our children are the chemical engineers. But I see a lot of bright future with so many new things happening in the world today, all especially in the renewable energy and digitization and those areas. So let me ask Mr. Sharma that what do you see the future for this chemical engineer? Because when we passed out and you started with engineering company, I started with manufacturing company. So those were only 1 or 2 options that time to start your job, and we were very happy to work in shifts and spending 12 hours, 14 hours into the plant. But what do you think is the future for chemical engineers in a mega trend which the world is going to change?
I mean, I think nothing much has changed as far as I'm concerned, because firstly, any branch of engineering, it gives you a sort of very solid foundation in terms of knowledge. And whether it's chemical, mechanical, electrical, I mean, yes, they are, branches in their own way, but actually the common aspects of education and learning, what you go through is very, very, very common. I mean, very similar. That is one. Second thing is that today the world is facing a serious challenge in terms of global warming. And can you please quiet please? Yeah.
Let our youngsters listen to it. Maybe may I request to not to have a side conversation, please.
So the global warming, what we are experiencing is something real now. It is not a myth anymore. And part of that, across the globe, I mean, a lot of things have to be done in terms of energy transition. How do we reduce the carbon footprint and decarbonize the world, at the same time continue to feed the millions and billions of people to support their growth aspirations and meet their materialistic needs. You will be surprised to know that as individuals, I mean, the amount of whatever you consume on a day-to-day basis, 60 to 70% of is either hydrocarbon-based or chemical-based, including the mobile phones, the chairs, the plastics, everything. So I think the existence of hydrocarbon chain in our lives is going to be quite permanent. But it is going to take a very different shape and form, because we need to also be responsible to decarbonize. So that is going to create much more opportunities, both in terms of research, new technologies, and application of those technologies to see how we can continue to produce what we need, but with a lower carbon footprint. So I think, for me, I think it's going to be more exciting than before in terms of this profession.
A couple of years back, I was a chief guest invited by Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers for an event where they were awarding the best chemical engineer, the best young chemical engineer award, and that was held in ICT Mumbai. And then I had just put up a social post saying that an ordinary chemical engineer is the chief guest for the function where the best chemical engineers are being awarded. And somebody from our group, from the LIT, he responded to my post saying that when you are graduated from LIT, how can you be an ordinary chemical engineer? You can never be an ordinary chemical engineer. So all the chemical engineers who are sitting here, the old one, the new one, they're all are very special chemical engineers. And believe me, I have seen them, I have been coming for campus in this college since 2010. And at least, maybe every year, at least 150 chemical engineers which have been recruited in last 8-9 years from this college. And I've seen them performing in the Alliance when I was there. And they were all sitting shoulder to shoulder with engineers coming from IITs and many other reputed institutions. And I have seen that they were nowhere less. And one of the very important things, which I think you talked about it, is a passion. Somebody was asking me in the morning, what are the new skills we should learn? He said, you only need to have a passion, everything else can be taught. So Mr. Sarma's career, what we have seen is all about passion, all about adversities and opportunities. He converted adversities into opportunities, he grabbed all opportunities. So what is the advice? How do you people develop the passion when they get into any kind of a career? There is a room at the top in any kind of career you get it. So that is for sure. So whether it is R&D, engineering, manufacturing, there is no place where you say you got more opportunities. Opportunities are there everywhere. But only thing is to build the passion. And that always the challenge is because passion is not taught in any classroom. Passion is not available on social media. It is not sold in any market. But how you build that passion? So,
I think the building block for having passion it starts with motivation. I mean, you have to have a strong motivation, and then through that motivation, the passion builds up. And the motivation starting point is purpose. I think so. You have to have a purpose. It varies depending on which phase of life you are. I mean, like you said, when you graduate, our immediate purpose, motivation is to get a job and become independent and be earning something so that you can live life on your own. And then you want to grow, make a career, and then you have a family responsibility, and so on and so forth. But the purpose can be redefined and can be kept changing. Like once you reach end of your career, then maybe purpose is to give it back to the society, give it back to youngsters and things like that. So you have to have a very strong purpose and motivation to build that passion. And I think it's an attitude issue. I mean, some people have it, some people don't have it. But I think not having is, as I said before, will take you only to a limited extent.
I think that very well said, because it is all. I always say the people who are having a special skill like sportsman or film star or some musicians, and for them their passion becomes their profession. So they are passionate about what they are doing, and that becomes a profession. But when you come out of the academic institution, so that is the time challenge is how do you make your profession as your passion, and converting that profession as your passion. The first thing you have to probably start enjoying. We said success is getting what you want, and happiness is liking what you get. So normally people, when they get something and they believe that, there is something somebody else has got better than me, another person has got better. But whatever you have is in front of you, if you start liking that, and the moment you start liking that, you will be happy. And once you are happy, automatically you start enjoying your job, and that is nothing but a passion. We say sportsmen enjoy playing and they become a passion. And once that happens, then it is a contagious. Then throughout your career it will maintain. You will never be dissatisfied. You will never be satisfied with the less achievements after that. So I was in the Bharati Vidyapit convocation ceremony. I was chief guest there, and then I asked some 600, 700 students were sitting there. I said, how many of you have been placed in your job? Maybe half the people, they raised their hands, so they got some placement. They all discipline engineers were there. I said, I congratulate for those people who have been placed, but I double congratulate to those people who have not been placed, because you got many opportunities open for you. Once you are placed, now you are happy that this is the only job I am going to do it. But those who have not been placed, consider that as an opportunity. So many students, they are always worried when the placement doesn't happen in the campus. In our time, maybe how many? 2 or 3 people. We are not even called for interviews. But Ajay Deshpande was placed in EIL, I remember that time. And L&T में अपना Anil Deshpande was placed in L&T. Otherwise हमको पता भी नहीं चला कब इंटरव्यू हो गया, फिर हम लोग उस लाइन में थे ही नहीं उस समय. So campus में people who are not placed. So what is your advice to them? Do they go for higher education? Do they look for some additional skills to be acquired, so that they should not get disheartened if that placement doesn't happen, and then try to consider that as an opportunity?
Like I said, I think, the one thing what you should believe is that once you have such a good education, then it's a matter of time where you get employed and what kind of employment you get. Some people will get it very soon, and some people it might take a little longer. So there's no reason to get disheartened, because institute like LIT has a very strong reputation, and an education system is very strong, and once you have acquired that, then it's not going to go waste. So the great opportunity for you to get something using that knowledge. But at the same time, if just because you haven't got the job, you can't be wasting that time. So there are several options. Like you said, you can pursue higher studies or work in internship with a certain organization, or even work with pilot plants and other infrastructure which you are building here now, or and attend sort of, including even conferences and seminars. So anything which will help you to gather more knowledge, that process should continue, and then the breakthrough will happen. So I think not doing anything and just waiting for something to happen is the wrong thing to do. So keep yourself engaged in any form what is possible for you, because depending on your personal situation, certain things may not be possible. But these days with online access and easy availability of information, it's much easier to continue to upgrade your knowledge.
And the mega trends, today when we talk about mega trends of, I think Sarma also spoke about it, the digitization, the circular economy, the biofuel, decarbonization, renewable energy, and somehow many of these mega trends are not yet aligned with the curriculum of the campuses, in many campuses. So up to some extent it is there, but not there. And there are many opportunities. If you acquire some qualifications into that area, and if you look at the LinkedIn report I was reading, So there are, they talked about some 12 skills for which is having around $4 trillion of economy, and there's a shortage of 1.2 million people who can produce that $4 trillion economy. And one good thing for chemical engineer, because when I joined chemical engineering, I thought it's all about chemistry. But then when I came here, then I thought it's all about chemistry is very little part of it. It's all about mathematics. And one good thing about the chemical engineers I have seen, not because I am a chemical engineer, but they can diversify into any field their knowledge. And in the early stage of automation and digitization which happened in APC and RTO and those kind of things came, most of those areas were led by the chemical engineers in area. Even lot many IT solutions came till the time the IT fraternity developed. So those all were being led by chemical engineers. So there are so many such courses or opportunities available. And some people were also asking if they should go for a higher education. But the higher education, again, I say, because if it is related to this mega trend, it will be definitely useful into that area. And see, one is there is a lot of outflux. We all went out of Nagpur and after studying at Nagpur. And today also we don't see many opportunities in Nagpur. And हमारे Maheshwari साहब यहाँ बैठे हैं. He's where is he? He's there, Maheshwari. No, he drinks refinery, he eats refinery, he dream refinery. So सोते जागते वो एक ही बात करते रहते हैं. So maybe you are being a very authority in the field of hydrocarbon. Do you think maybe such kind of developments in this area will boost up the economy of this area? Especially, although people talk about landlocked versus coastal, but India, there are more landlocked refineries than the coastal refinery. And one you are building in Rajasthan, also the landlocked refinery. So just a very, may not be a very career-oriented question, but this is a development of this area where the careers and all these incubation center, what all we have, that will get lot many opportunities with such developments coming up. So just your thoughts on that.
See, I mean, historically, if you see most of the infrastructure projects in India, refinery or petrochemicals, particularly those which were developed by the government sector, were not necessarily driven by the economics. They were driven by the developmental aspect. I mean, eventually it leads to good economics because it may not immediately give the return on investment. But over a period of time, if you see the multiplying effect, it does make economic sense. Now, few years back, I think 2-3 years back, Mr. Sanjeev Singh, who is now in Reliance, but he was the chairman of IOCL, I was speaking to him and he was talking about refinery in Paradip, which IOCL did. Of course, it's a coastal, but nevertheless, it was a very backward area. And he was telling SS, if you go there, when I went to start the refinery, most of the villages were very, very poor. Most of them were in bullock carts, and there were few who were having bicycle. 15 years down the line now, you go and see, there will be many villages who are driving Mercedes car. There are many villages who are driving Mercedes car, but as a minimum, everybody has a beautiful bike. So the upliftment of the community around and the society has been so phenomenal with all these development projects that there's no doubt. I mean, if something like this comes in Vidarbha will see a huge boost in it's because the kind of ancillary industry which is required, the skills which are required, the money flows back into the society and the community, and that will give huge opportunities. Now, landlocked or not, I mean, India is getting quite well connected now, I mean, through various network of gas pipelines and oil pipelines. And, if it is an export refinery, then it makes sense for it to be in the coast. But if it is not an export refinery, so then any refinery, I mean, with such a populous region, I mean, Vidarbha is quite populated, there is so much of demand. So maybe then the input has to come from somewhere, but the production is going to be locally consumed. So I don't see that it is so much out of place to even have it in a landlocked place. So I
want to thank you.
3 points. If you permit.
Yes.
Yeah, quickly.
Actually, our concept is based on 3-4 points. The first point is when all the 4 main directions of the country, north, east, south, everywhere you see the refinery. Even Delhi is not having coast, but 3 refineries running near Delhi. Panipat, Bhatinda and Mathura. But in the planning in the last 40 years, Central India is left completely dry. I don't want to discuss the reason, what is the reason behind, but at the same time, Central India is completely dry. Here we are doing the mining of 500 million tons in the radius area of 400 kilometer. And the IOC has given the, in writing, that 14 million ton is the fuel consumption. And in the radius area 450 kilometers, 10 airports are there. And another, this is the first thing. Second thing is Mumbai-Nagpur Expressway. These are recently completed. So the crude pipeline, bringing crude from coast to this place, is now become very easy. Gas pipeline is already coming. And the third one is, we have the 1 million ton Indorama plant here, making polyester. And if you see, 32 cement plants in the radius of 400 kilometers. Another one cement plant, 3 million to 4 million, including diesel, packing material, lubricant, and other things. They are consuming around 1,000 crore rupees material in a year. So there is a vast market here. So right now, this is the second point. Third point is right now we are paying 5 rupees a liter from refinery to depot and depot to petrol pumps. So huge money we are spending on logistics, which will completely vanish if the refinery comes here. Then secondly, the last one is fertilizers. We are bringing fertilizer either from import or from long distance, because near refinery there are viability for the fertilizer plants also. So here actually, if one refinery comes, so we get many problems resolved. And social front, if you see, we are having still we carry the tag of backward area. So with this one project, lots of things can resolve. So this is the logic behind, and Mr. Marathe is supporting me, and because of his support and confidence, I am moving ahead.
Thank you, I think.
There's one more, there's one more argument in favor. Some of this major infrastructure, you have to also see the security and the safety. And Central India, I mean, if a country goes into the war, Central India is the safest place.
Yeah, that's good. I think that point is also, so thank you.
There is no dearth of water. Vinayak is aware. We had a seminar presentation, and that Gosi Khurd has a lot of water. There is backwater also.
15% water is reserved for industry, and we have land banks. We have got 15,000 acre land at one place, 3,000 two land banks, around 23,000 acre land is lying vacant here. And secondly, the most important point is here that this project, if you see, this will be the first refinery near coal. This area is full of coal. We are mining 65 million ton of coal. So coal gasification will be there. And another thing is here, actually, if the refinery comes, so many ancillary units, where the entire raw material is coming from Gujarat or some imports. So lots of import can stop. This refinery, we have calculated, around 30,000 crore rupees can be served by this refinery.
Yeah, thank you. So Maheshwari ji, I think if your dream comes true, we'll see the Mercedes running also. And some students have left to look for the Mercedes price just now, so whether they can book that. So maybe I think this conversation will never be ending, and it's very interesting. I also feel I should keep on talking to Mr. Sarma throughout the day, but considering the time constraint, maybe we can take a couple of questions from the audience, and then we'll close it. Maybe if young students can come up and ask some questions, they'll be more than happy. Yeah. You have seen all 5 mantras. If you want any 6 mantras to be learned, please do ask. Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yeah. Please come forward.
Introduce yourself.
Myself, Chaitali Thakre. I'm currently studying in 3rd year in chemical engineering. So I have a question, that is, while means crossing every milestone in your life, you may have faced many obstacles, or sometimes you may have faced demotivated that how will I achieve this? How will I get to the point? So what made you keep going in your life?
Very good question. So I think those situations will arise. I mean, I think don't think that entire journey has been very smooth and easy ride. Setbacks do come, but if you look at the management lessons, one thing they teach you, or the advocacy is done, is that the good leader is one who can recover from setback. So you should develop that ability to recover from that. And definitely there will be moments when you will feel very depressed, where you get very upset, disappointed. But there is a time for it. Maybe a few hours or few days or maybe maximum few weeks. You introspect after that, see what went wrong. And there is a good lesson to be drawn. And see the positive. The way to look at it is to see at those lessons, what you have learned, apply those and move forward.
So thank you. One more? Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Prathamesh Kolwadkar. I am currently studying in third year chemical engineering. My question is, when you are sharing the presentations, before going to the international project, you told that your authority had chosen you for going over there. Sorry? Your authority had chosen you to go over there for working on the project. So my question is, what might he have seen in you because of which he chose you to go over there in a crowd of so many people? Why did he choose you? Means what capabilities did you have?
Well, I mean, I think, see, I don't know what he saw in me, but definitely he saw something which I'm very thankful. But the more important thing is that what I have seen in life is that every individual tends to underestimate himself. Your potential, you always try to underestimate. You think that I cannot do this, and you start drawing limits in your mind that beyond this I cannot do. So, like any sports person, like gold medalist, if they start drawing those lines, they will never become gold medalists. They always think that they can raise the bar and try more and try more. So you have to keep trying, till you hit that really ceiling, which I think is very, very difficult for anyone to hit that ceiling because the human potential is huge. It's about the efforts and about belief. So sometimes you realize it yourself. Sometimes others will tell you that you have much more potential. Please keep trying. So somebody has to tell you that. Best thing is you say it yourself. But otherwise your parents will say, or your siblings will say, or your well-wishers will say, and sometimes you are very lucky, then your bosses will say.
I'll share a very small story on just 1 minute. When Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani used to recruit the very high level people like Mr. Sama or somebody, and last interview will be taken by Mr. Ambani. And it was not more than 5 minutes interview. And he just want to check whether the person has a adequate passion, what he's looking for. And after that, he will put a paper in front of him. He will say what you expect this company to pay you, what all perks, what all salaries, facilities, what all your liabilities in your previous company. Write down everything on the paper. And the gentleman will write down everything on the paper. Then he will call the HR person, will take that paper from him, and even without looking at it, will hand over to HR, saying that it's the most important person for me and I want to be on the board immediately. And then somebody asked him later on, why you never looked at it? He said in 99-100% of the cases, what person was expecting was much more than what I could have paid him. So I knew his potential much more than he himself was expecting. So that is what he rightly said. We always do not underestimate our potential, which is very, very high. So to try to believe in yourself that yes, why not everybody can be Mr. Sarma in their career? You just have a role model and decide today. Huh? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So I think we are coming to the end now. So. When I first met Mr. Sarma, then we talked about many LIT alumni activities which are happening, incubation center and pilot plant, and that all was coming up. And I request him, maybe some of his contribution will definitely boost our efforts which we are doing it, because although we have a passion, but that passion also require some kind of a financial support, which we expect from many of our alumni. So maybe if you would like to announce something.
I was listening to what Abhay and Abhay is also my batchmate was presenting, and what you briefed me. And it's very interesting, and the kind of effort that is being done through the incubation center and the pilot facilities. So I think as alumni and being in the industry and being passionate about it, like Vinayak, I said to you that I would like to make my own contribution. At least for the next 12 months, over the next 12 months period, I would contribute 10 lakhs rupees towards the Thank you.
Last year in the Alumina function, we had kept a 20 lakhs rupee target for 79 batch. Was pura ho gaya. So thank you for that great gesture. Thank you very much. And I think because want of time, we cannot take more questions. We can interact during him. But we'll all talk about passion and potential and all that. So I'll just say a few lines at the end. And this is all for students. We say, जब आँखों में अरमान लिया, जब आँखों में अरमान लिया, मंजिल को अपना मान लिया, तो मुश्किल क्या और आसान क्या, जब ठान लिया तो ठान लिया. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights. At the outset, I would like to thank Shri Sarma sir and Shri Marathe sir. This was really very informative and captivating session elaborating the success mantras. Now I would request LITA Chairman Shri Labhe sir to felicitate today's speakers for this session with a shawl and shift.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time for the lunch break. I would like to request all the delegates.
Hello, there is a 10 minutes program by 1997 batch. Please sit down. All are requested to please sit down. This is
I would like to request 1997 batchmates to come forward, please, for the cake cutting. 1997 batch. I think 97 batchmates are not here. Now it's time for the lunch break, and I would like to request all the delegates to move forward to the lunch venue. We shall quickly meet at sharp 3 p.m. for our next session on Mission Aroma in this auditorium itself. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much. Sorry, the next session starts at 2:30 p.m. Thank you so much. This year 1997 batch is celebrating their silver jubilee. So I would request all the 1997 batchmates to come forward for the cake cutting, please.